The biggest IPO in history just dropped this week, and everyone's got a hot take. I don't trade hot takes, I trade what my system confirms. So let me show you the flips that's flagging this week right now across crypto, stocks, commodities before the move catches on. Let's go. Quick rundown, we've just had the biggest IPO in history, and that is SpaceX. We're going to be covering what's happening in crypto, stocks, what's actually bullish and bearish right now at the time of recording, which is the 14th of June, going into this week and seeing what's bullish, where you should be allocating or staying risk off. So first off, we're looking at SpaceX right now. It's just come out here on Friday's open. We're going to see how it opens into next week. But we can see it has pumped about almost 21% here since the open, which is really nice to see. Now, personally, I'm not buying into SpaceX at the moment. I think we need a bit more candles on the charts, and hopefully the Summit Cloud picks it up once weeks follow by to get a bit more data to see, as this is a massive valuation. It's currently valued at almost 1.7 trillion with only a small percentage of earnings compared to Tesla. So this is really interesting to see. We're going to be covering all this, so make sure you smash the subscribe below. Looking at SpaceX there, broader crypto market, we can see here BTC is hovering around the 200-week moving average, which is very interesting to see. And I'm definitely starting to DCA back into BTC at these levels. We can see we've got the bear flip here on the 9th of February, and it's just been trickling down. And this is exactly why we follow a trend following system rather than news and headlines, etc. You can see it's sitting around the 200 week, and over BTC's history, this is on the weekly time frame. This is the kind of likely bottom it likes to form here. And yeah, really nice time to be buying some BTC up. Obviously not fully loading the bag up, but definitely start DCAing into these levels, as no one can mark the exact bottom here. But very interesting times. I also wanted to bring up here, during this weekend, there's been some peace deals likely to be signed going into next week. And I do like this post here from Martin. So shout out Martin. This is very interesting. We're going to read it through here. So the market spent months pricing in war. Now it's trying to price in peace. Trump says the Iran deal gets signed on Sunday. Iran says the timing is still unclear. That's why I think this weekend matters more than most people realize. A lot of people are positioned for an outcome. Markets have a habit of hurting the people who lean too heavily on one side. Now, if you're an average Joe that doesn't have a trend following system, you can read this either way, either it's bullish or bearish. This is exactly why we follow a system here. And we've been risk off on BTC when it flipped bearish to get a better position here, and exactly why we use a trend following system rather than following headlines and news. But yeah, we've covered SpaceX, what the peace deals are going into next week could be looking like. So make sure you are staying followed in here. We're going to be dropping some shorts around where likely markets are likely to go this week. And this could create like a likely bounce, which would be really nice. But at the moment, bearish most of crypto. I mean, Ethereum, other altcoins are getting absolutely slaughtered here. But yeah, hopefully a likely bottom is starting to form here, which would be really nice to see. And we can see here, there was some big news also that came out with Anthropic shutting down their latest model, which was quite unreal, as a lot of the world actually had access to it. And now shutting it down, this is quite insane. Some altcoins have actually pumped off this, and we've been following this through the systems here. So we've got Anthropic shuts down. Government ordered disrupted access to frontier AI models overnight. So they just completely shut it down overnight. The market's response. So Tau, we're going to pull up Tau here and see what the moves actually are here. And then if we go to the scanner, which is exactly what we track here in markets, we can see Tau here. If we go on the daily, still in a bear trend. Most altcoins are being absolutely cooked here, but we did see a quite big pump here off this news. We can see here through the week. So Anthropic getting rid of their model, and people started dumping capital into AI crypto projects like Tau. This is quite interesting to see. But overall, a couple of altcoins I'm watching and currently in at the moment is Hyperliquid, looking really nice here and still bullish. Like, this is insane. Exactly why you got to follow a trend following system like the Summit Cloud. It tells you exactly where markets are going here, and we don't have to guess at all. We just follow the system, and this is exactly why we use the tools here. So I wanted to bring up this video here from Grant Cardone. This is quite insane. Obviously, his own capital is mass amount of his capital is getting allocated into BTC, and he is quite bullish on the setup here for BTC. Right now, BTC is bearish, but at the 200-week moving average zone is a no-brainer. And this is actually an undervalued BTC in my opinion. And exactly why I'm starting to allocate back in here on BTC. We can see even on the daily chart, hovering around the 200-week, and it's actually bounced off it, which is really nice to see. And when we go back to the last bear market here on BTC, which was 2023, was the likely bottom here. And we can see, yes, it dipped under the 200-week here, but yeah, around these levels are very interesting. Definitely an area you should be looking at allocating in here. Yeah, we're going to pull up this video here and see what Grant Cardone has to say.
This is a $2 trillion industry going to a $200 trillion industry. None of you guys understand how big this is going to be. It started so small. Y'all are looking at it going, oh yeah, but it can't get, dude, this thing can eat everything.
And 2 trillion is nothing.
Nothing.
I'm old enough to remember when a trillion was a big
$1 trillion industries do not fail. That is a maxim, dude. Like, it's got too much inertia. It has escape velocity. It ain't coming down. So all the money that's sitting in real estate, 330 trillion, $7 trillion sitting, making.
I guess we get the point here. Gary Cardone running through the bull case here on BTC and his opinion of it. And it's spot on when we're in a bull market. BTC's been in a bear for quite some time here. And this is exactly why we need to be following a system rather than listening to, I guess, influencers or large capital owners like Grant Cardone and his opinions on it. But bull case is, yeah, it's such a small industry at the moment. And over the 200-week moving average period, this is exactly why I'm starting to allocate back in here, even when we're in a bear cloud, just because this is the average over the 200-week moving period here for BTC. Looking really nice here. And once that starts picking up here and we get a bull flip, yeah, we could be off to the races here on BTC is the bull case. But we'll be keeping you informed exactly what's happening here on BTC. We're looking at more altcoins. Zcash was in a bull. It's starting to flip bear now after the recent news of the Opus 4.8 hack, which we've been covering that all inside our community. So you can just click the link in the bio down below in the description and get involved in the conversations we have throughout the week. But yeah, we can see here it's starting to flip bearish, and this we would only be informed here if we're using systems like the Summit Cloud, the scanner. We can see here we're about to get a bear flip on Zcash, and all we have to do is just pull up the scanner, and we can see here since the daily bull flip, it's still up around 14%. This was 2 months ago, and this is on the weekly. So technically on the weekly time frame, it is still bullish. An early trend reversal here on the daily, which we can see here, is likely, it could be going down, but at the moment on the weekly, it's telling a different story. I don't even need to start guessing here. We can see it's bullish here. Anyway, to wrap up this week, this is exactly what's bullish and bearish here on the scanner. We're going to finish off with what's bullish, all time frames, and exactly why we use the tools here. These are the most recent flips here. We can see, and every time a flip comes in here, our community is informed exactly what's bullish and bearish in markets. And right now, stocks are the ones that are ripping and have been ripping for a while here. We've got some amazing setups. Like 2 months ago when the flip came in, almost 130% gain here. Exactly why we use the tools here. I mean, look at that. That is just awesome to see. In March, 130% move here. We've been informed and in the position here on ARM holdings. So yeah, overall stocks are still very bullish. Crypto is likely could be having a bottom soon, which is awesome. And you need to be following a trend reversal system here to be informed when we get a bull flip here. Because when we do get a bull flip, it's going to be insane here on BTC. So make sure you smash the like below, smash the comment where you think assets are moving this week. And we'll see you all in the next video.